what's your take on astrological signs?
Ooh, I wouldn't say I put the most stock into them.
You're not like, hey, like this sign, it's saying I'm doing this today. This is what I'm doing today. When you get a horoscope,
I would say I put more store into Hogwarts houses.
Wow. I know you're saying that tongue in cheek, but it's fun to think that maybe you live your life by that.
No, but I would, like, if someone took the quiz for what house they are, I would take that as more of an indicator of their personality than if they told me what the stars looked like the day they were born.
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, because like you're putting something in to get that out. It's not just this is what's been ascribed to you.
It's personality based, not celestial bodies based.
But, listen, they did it for a lot longer than Hogwarts existed, so who knows? Maybe they had it right.
Yeah, they also did slavery for a long time. And
This is going down a good path. You definitely haven't cornered me.
Welcome to Butter No Parsnips. Every week on Butter No Parsnips, your hosts Kyle Imperator and Emily Moyers take you on an adventure through the weird, wacky, wonderful, and sometimes even wicked world of one wayside word. Strange characters, delightful bits, and general joyousness abound. Join them as they test each other's etymological expertise.
Hey everybody, welcome to Butter No Parsnips. I'm Kyle Imperator.
And I'm Emily Moyers. Kyle, what words have you got rattling around in your brain?
Emily, so many words. Most of them are just it.
Yeah, those are the most common ones, huh?
Yeah. But if you rifle through it a little bit, you can find a little gem peeking out, and I've got one for you today, Emily. Your word today is Syzygy. Syzygy.
I'm sorry, Kyle, are you trying to get a high score in Scrabble?
I am. Sounds like you're at least a little bit familiar with this word, Emily.
What? No, there's a lot of... No, I'm furious at how many crazy letters are in that word. I'm saying, is this a fake word that you're giving me just so you can get a triple word, and now you're going to give me the word that is a real word?
No, this is the real word, Emily, and an actual Scrabble winning word, like a very important word in Scrabble.
I mean, that makes sense. It's crazy. Yeah. There's 3 Y's and a Z in here.
And a Z, yeah.
There's no real vowels in here.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can get 3 Y's in a hand in Scrabble. Gotta be honest.
Are there even 3 Y's in the whole bag?
You have to create your own tile.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so is this a noun?
This is a noun, Emily.
And is the language of origin Martian?
I mean, no.
Is it a sci-fi word?
It is not directly a sci-fi word.
Is it a science word?
It is.
Okay.
Are these the kind of hints that we're giving now?
I mean, I asked and you answered, so I guess.
Okay, Kyle, and what is the definition?
I mean, I'm asking yes or no questions. That feels fair.
It's fair game.
I'm stretching the rules.
So I'll tell you that it comes from Latin and Greek.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Would you like a hint?
I would. Okay. I thought about taking a wild stab first.
No, take the stab first. It's always fun.
Yeah, it's fun. So I think syzygy is like the amount of sizzle that something makes when you put it in a hot pan.
I'm sorry, but the syzygy factor of that hot dog is below 20 par.
I've conducted the experiments and I've discovered that calculators do not have very good syzygy.
You were putting a calculator in a frying pan?
It was for science. Kyle, give me a hint.
Emily, your hint is fated.
Fated?
Fated.
Whoa, okay. So, syzygy, now I'm thinking maybe it's something like serendipity. Syzygy is like Oh, no, I guess that's just synergy. I'm just going to say all the words that sound similar.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So far, you're closest with the putting a calculator in a frying pan one, and that's not good news.
Okay. I think syzygy is it like the science side of astrology?
Wow, Emily, you're right there. You're right there, Emily.
I don't think I can get. My head is so empty.
That's fine.
You gotta just give me the rest.
Yeah,
I'll take the L.
You're going to take the L, but you're going to realize how close you were. The science side of astrology is just astronomy, Emily, but good, But this word is an astronomy and an astrology word, and it means an alignment of 3 celestial bodies in which one body is directly between the other two, forming a straight line, such as occurs at an eclipse.
And just that event is a syzygy, or
is a syzygy.
Is a syzygy. Okay, I'm with you so far.
So syzygy. Just prefacing this, the Latin for this is frickin' insane. I don't use Z's in Latin and Greek.
Yeah, I'm immediately very curious about how this word breaks down.
Yeah,
etymologically,
it's fun. So it comes from the late Latin Syzygia, which in astronomy meant conjunction, which we'll get to in a little bit. Okay. And that comes from the ancient Greek, here we go, Syzygia, and that could mean a union or junction, a yoke of animals, coupling or copulation, a conjunction of words or things in pairs. In astronomy, it could mean the alignment of celestial bodies, of course, or it could also more generally mean pair, was Syzygia.
So there's the do in there. That's like 2.
Yeah, so no. It's just the Z in ancient Greek made this D sound.
Horrible.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it all that much. If any of our ancient Greek listeners are out there listening, could help me out with this, that would be great.
Caligula, could you help us figure this out?
Give us a text.
Our main man Cicero.
So that word, Emily, stems from the word syzdugos, which meant yoked together or paired. And that word has 2 parts. The prefix sun, which means with, together, or like a synonym for co or sin, or could indicate completeness. And then the second part was zdugos, which means a yoke or pair. So it literally means paired together.
Sure. It also, it's like if you are taking legal action against a goss, you suz de goss.
Oh, God.
I've been trying to come up. All of these words sound like there has to be a really good pun in there somewhere, and that was the best I could come up with. It's pretty bad.
All right. No. It's good. I like it. Yeah,
don't lie to me, Kyle. Don't patronize me, Kyle. Move on.
We're gonna sue some other things, Emily, because "susdegos" is an alternate form of the word "zdugon," which comes from the verb. Get ready for this one. Zdgoa. Which means to yoke or join together. And it is the past tense. We're really walking it through here. It's the past tense of zdygotos, from which we get the English word zygote, meaning a fertilized egg cell. Yeah, that's where it comes into play.
And that's like that's two coming together like sperm and egg.
Sperm and egg.
Coupling.
Yes. And in fact, Emily, as you may remember from biology class, the zygote is, we just said, as a result of sperm and egg coming together, which is through the reproductive process called meiosis, right?
Yeah, sure. I remember that. Absolutely, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember. In meiosis, Emily, the word syzygy is used to refer to the pairing of chromosomes.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Emily, the earliest instance of the word syzygy comes from Thomas Blount's 1656 dictionary, Glossographia. I feel like... Blount is his last name, Blount.
Oh, Blount, comma, apostrophe S.
Yes, Blount.
Got you.
You must have come across Glossographia at some point.
Oh, Glossographia, the very early dictionary.
Yes.
Got you.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it much, and I was going to talk about it here, but it doesn't have much to do with the word, so some other day.
Okay.
But part of its subtitle is Dictionary Interpreting All Such Hard Words as Are Now Used in Our Refined English Tongue, and it basically covered only unusual words.
Yeah, a lot of the early dictionaries were like specifically like, here's just the tough ones for you. I've gotten all the tough ones into this book so you can read them. The other words you know because you've said them, but here's just the toughies that you might not know.
You think learning to read English was hard in the 1600s? Try this.
And a lot of them say in the subtitles, like, yeah, this is for foreigners who are learning English, or for women who don't know stuff.
Yeah. Blount's is actually a lot nicer. We won't get into it today, but it's pretty good. But syzygy is a very hard word, Emily, and I know it's kind of hard to picture. So we're going to talk a lot more about astronomy and astrology and see if we can get it into everybody's heads, some imagery.
Nice.
But it originally only referred to what in astronomy is called a conjunction, which is something that occurs when two objects appear close to each other in the sky. So it's always from the perspective of someone standing on one celestial body looking at two bodies in the sky, right?
Gotcha. Would it be like getting close that they, to our eye, appear to touch?
Well, yes, it does. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like they would overlap from our perspective?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. To confuse this even more, I'm told by Wikipedia, who tells me things, that this is somehow different from what astronomers call an apulse, which is the least apparent distance between two celestial bodies from the perspective of a third body. But I'm going to leave that pedantry to the astronomers because I don't get it. We're not going to talk about that here today.
So I guess an apples is like, you know how in math, like limits, like it can get infinitely close but not touch.
Yeah.
But then as soon as it touches, then it's a conjunction.
It's a conjunction. Yeah. So specifically, Emily, syzygy originally meant the conjunction of the moon and the sun. So when they appear closest to each other in the sky.
Sure. I mean, those are the ones that we see the most of. So that makes sense.
Yes. And that syzygy is one that results in what we see as the new moon.
Right.
So when the moon, I guess.
When the moon is... When
dark.
We are between the sun and the moon, right?
This is...
Oh, no, this is the thing that happens every month. Right.
Well, the thing that happens every month is a different thing, Emily. I don't get that. You get that.
No, what you get... You're Italian, so you get when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. No, what is the alignment that makes a new moon happen?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay. I think I know, but could use some refreshers.
Yeah. It's sun, moon, earth, right? Because the moon and the sun are a conjunction, right? They're close to each other.
Right, but they're not perfectly aligned because that would be a solar eclipse.
Well.
I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of you, Kyle.
You're not. I love when you get ahead of me.
The moon is hitting your eye like a big pizza pie. You're all, you're all confuddled.
Oh God, there's sauce in my eyes. This is not romantic.
This is so not amore.
So the opposite, Emily, of a conjunction is when two bodies appear 180 degrees from each other.
Sure.
That is on the opposite side of the body from which the viewer is standing. And this is called an opposition. So there's conjunction, 0 degrees, opposition, 180. Those are the opposite sides of the spectrum.
And that would be a full moon.
Exactly.
Or a lunar eclipse. Right?
Right. Yes. But it's both are syzygies, right? Because they're forming what appears to be a straight line.
Right. A straight line of 3. Yep.
As you have so wonderfully noticed, Emily, sometimes these syzygies can result in an eclipse.
Yeah.
Really, very could not determine what the difference definition-wise was between a conjunction or an opposition and an eclipse. They're basically used interchangeably. Some say that the definition that makes something an eclipse is whether or not it is casting a shadow on the body that you're viewing from. But I think that happens no matter what, because of the way things work. Because there's also terms transit and occultation, which is like when something passes in front of a thing.
Well, so like in our case, it's always going to be like a perfect conjunction is always going to be an eclipse because one of the three bodies we're talking about is the sun, and that affects where the light is. But if the three bodies you're talking about don't involve the light source, then they might not be eclipses.
Oh yeah, sure.
Is that right? I mean, I'm not looking at your notes, but
that's not. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. But yeah, you're not wrong there.
Yeah.
Although, so like a transit is when something smaller passes in front of something larger, and an occultation is when something larger passes in front of something smaller. But,
But that still wouldn't necessarily, if it was three planets, it wouldn't affect necessarily the shadow.
Yeah, but I don't know if the shadow is part of it, though. We need some astronomers. If there are astronomers out there, preferably some ancient Greek astronomers, that would kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, for sure. If Galileo's in the crowd.
Yeah. Emily, you know how to call him, right?
I do. I have his home phone number.
Oh, no. I mean, like, his call to get his attention.
Yeah. I got you. Do really high, then really low.
Yeah. Galileo.
Yeah, there we go.
So, just to clarify, Emily, when the moon and sun are in conjunction, the moon may pass in front of the sun and create a solar eclipse. Right. Similarly, when they're in opposition, the moon might pass through the Earth's shadow of the sun, right? Creating a lunar eclipse. Okay?
Yes.
A tongue-in-cheek but surprisingly handy 2014 tweet from astrophysicist Katie Mack boils this whole thing down to emojis. So this will be the easiest way to describe this for everybody.
Yes, describe the emojis out loud.
It's moon emoji, earth emoji, sun emoji, lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
Okay? Earth emoji, moon emoji, sun emoji, solar eclipse.
Yeah.
Earth emoji, sun emoji, moon emoji, apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun is about to hit the Earth.
Yeah. The moon has flown off into the universe. So, Emily, I couldn't exactly figure out how far back the concept of syzygy goes, right? It's probably really, really old.
I mean, it would have to be. The Greek astronomers saw a lot of stuff.
They saw a lot of stuff. Have you seen their scared statue faces?
It was a dark time.
Yeah. But Alexandrian science guy Claudius Ptolemy...
Was that his children's education TV show?
Yeah.
Alexandrian science guy?
Claudius Ptolemy, the Alexandrian science guy. Ptolemy!
Inertia is a property of matter. We are killing it on the references
we are
today.
Just one after the other.
And only like half of them are going to get cut.
So Ptolemy wrote about syzygies in his 2nd century treatise Mathematicae Syntaxis, which is now known as the Almagest.
Oh.
From Arabic Almagisti and ancient Greek Megiste, which basically meant greatest. So the Almagest was the greatest.
Almagest.
Ptolemy's treatise was so great, in fact, Emily, that Almagest became a word for any volume of useful or esoteric lore resembling the greatness of Ptolemy's work. So that's
a really good word.
Isn't
that's
that
a really good
word
word for that meaning?
Yeah. Isn't that so good?
I love that.
So, Ptolemy's Almagest, amongst other things, one of the things that I had in here, I'll just make it a throwaway, but Ptolemy's Almagest solidified, canonized the idea of a geocentric model of the universe. And that would stay in place for like 1400 years until Copernicus was like, hey guys, but really maybe we should think about some other things.
He said, no, Ptolemy said it. It's true.
Yeah.
Die.
Yeah, exactly. One of the other things that it canonized and originated was the mathematical method for predicting when syzygies would occur. So he was like, this is how you figure it out.
Oh.
But it was just when they would occur, not where the bodies would be in space. They didn't care about that. And so him doing this, because that work was such a popular work, for the next millennium, like almost 1200 years, astronomers became more concerned with narrowing down to the minute the timing of future syzygies than they did about actually where any of the bodies were in the sky. They just didn't care.
Huh.
So Ptolemy also wrote, along with Almagest, he wrote a book called Tetrabiblos, which was
4 books.
Well, yeah, but it was the astrological side of all of this.
Sure.
So it became just as popular, but unlike the Almagest, which fell out of favor once new science came around, astrologists today still follow the Tetrabiblos.
Oh, wow.
So astronomers were like, when are these things going to happen? And astrologers were like, no, we need to know where the position of all these bodies are. And they still use terms like conjunction and opposition and like figure out all this stuff for horoscopes and stuff like that.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Also, this fascination with predicting future syzygial events was taken advantage of in the year 1184, Emily.
Taken advantage of?
When a letter began circulating falsely attributed to the scholars at the University of Toledo, Spain, not Ohio.
Oh, okay. It's like, the Greeks were there?
So the Letter of Toledo purported to have predicted that in the year 1186, a rare conjunction would occur, bringing all the planets into syzygy, creating a solar eclipse in which the sun will appear fiery red and distorted, signifying approaching bloodshed. Yeah. It was sent to the Pope at the time, and it foretold the destruction of the world through wind and storms, drought and famine, pestilence and earthquake, that the air would be darkened and poisoned by a fearful wind, and in the midst of it, a voice or sound would be heard, which would destroy the hearts of men.
So, I'm sorry, this letter was written in 84, talking about 86?
86, yes.
It's a pretty bold move to predict the apocalypse 2 years out. Like, that's got to be a short con, and then you got to get out of there because everyone is going to quickly know that you're wrong.
Well, that's the thing, is that it was like purportedly written by these astronomers at this esteemed university in Toledo.
Oh, right.
But it wasn't. It was literally a hoax. It just to get people riled up for 2 years.
Wow. Actually, yeah, in that case, 2 years is a long con to make everyone filled with terror. Was it like just to like sabotage the reputations of the people who had supposedly written it?
You know, I could find very little information about it. Most of the information that I found from it was from a paper written in 1902 that covered it. So take all of this with a grain of salt.
Sure.
But, you know, it's fun. I think it existed. And supposedly it gripped the world with panic so strongly and like did so well at that that the letter continued to be adapted and republished for centuries later.
Oh,
just changing the year and like different things about it to like make new hoaxes because they just assumed that other people hadn't read it before.
To keep the prank going?
Yeah, to like keep the prank going.
That's so
everybody knows
funny.
senior year.
Senior year, you gotta convince everyone that they're gonna die in 2 years.
Prank day. One of the people that supposedly was responsible for this was a hermit on Mount Sinai. I just really just bored, I guess.
And that's Mount Sinai, New York.
Yeah, Mount Sinai, New York. Yeah, he was just at a grocery store.
The ancient Greeks were there too. They got around the U.S.
They really did. So that paper I was talking to you about was written by a scholar, Moses Gaster, And he talks about how the letter had such an immediate and lasting impact on society, and he felt that that was proof that people must have, for generations before that, had a strong-held belief in the power of astronomical events. He was saying that the world was in a kind of bit of turmoil at that time, and that religion was being lost by some people. And so people kind of clung to this new science to be like, oh, no, this is what's real. And I need to have something to stick to. Like, if it can't be religion, it's going to be this.
Sure. Pseudoscience kind of became the new religion.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said Moses Gaster?
Gaster. Yeah.
But you hardly know her.
Oh, boy.
So that was the best joke I've ever told. We can stop the podcast now.
It's good. Okay, let's round this out, Emily.
Okay.
So Syzygy has also taken on more general meanings. So I don't know if I mentioned this at the start, but it can also mean a metaphorical alignment of two people, events, or ideas. Is a syzygy.
That's good.
Isn't that good?
I was thinking it sounded like synergy was what it was.
Sure.
The feel it was giving me.
But it's like a fated alignment of two people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it was meant to be. Finally, they're working together.
Yeah.
It can also describe a pair of connected or correlative things that are possibly alike, but it more often refers to two things that are related because they're opposites.
Like a yin-yang?
Like a yin-yang thing. So it's like, we're opposites, but we've been one all along, you know?
We're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, like Batman and Joker, the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
Yes. Emily, before we close...
Okay.
I'd like to point out a hidden syzygy here and yoke together some loose ends.
Do it.
So yoke, which I mentioned earlier, it's a strange word, but it just means to join together or become connected, to yoke.
Like what oxen are attached to.
Right, exactly. That comes to us all the way from the Proto-Indo-European root yug, which means to join or to tie together, from which we eventually get through yugom and Proto-Hellenic Zugon, syzygy.
Wow.
Yeah. So yoke and syzygy are related.
Are doublets.
Emily, it gets even better.
Oh.
In Latin, yug became jungo, which, almost as if by fate, when combined with the prefix conjungo, becomes conjunction, essentially exactly how syzygy was built in ancient Greek.
Wow, they're triplets.
They're triplets. I just thought that was really exciting.
How syzygious.
How syzygial.
Syzygial.
Emily, I have one last food for thought for you, and perhaps a challenge for the syzygial question I am soon to ask.
Yes.
A quote that I cannot find any proof of being actually said by this person, but it's attributed to the novelist W.P. Kinsella.
Okay.
Reads, syzygy, inexorable, pancreatic, phantasmagoria. Anyone who can use those 4 words in one sentence will never have to do manual labor.
God, why would you throw down that gauntlet?
Emily, I ask you, can you use syzygy in a sentence?
Why would you do this? Okay, but you know what? Sometimes, hey.
This might help you.
Sometimes working within constraints helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes.
Pancreatic is in there. I forgot that one of them was pancreatic. I mean, I don't know how to use the word pancreatic in any other context than a tragic one.
I mean, fine.
No, I don't want it to be a tragic sentence.
Maybe things have turned around, you know?
Wow. Okay. I thought I was having pancreatic issues. However...
Yeah. You started it off.
I hate this.
The pizza pie has hit my eye.
But the phantasmagoria I saw in the syzygy in the sky today tells me that I will be inexorably linked with good health for the years to come.
Beautiful. Honestly, Great.
I feel like I was in, you know, that thing they used to train astronauts where they get spun around real fast?
Where they spaghettify you, yeah.
I feel like I just stepped out of that.
Oh, well, I'm glad that my space episode could have such a space feeling for you.
Yeah.
What do you think of Syzygy, Emily?
Kyle, this is a fantastic word. I'm not super positive I know how to use it in a sentence that doesn't also contain inexorable pancreatic and phantasmagoria, but I do really love it.
Would you like to play a game?
Let's play a game!
Emily, your game today is called When the Planets Align. So, outside of predicting annual doomsday events, Syzygies have had a long life as a trope in media and pop culture. I've only got 4 questions for you today.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a result of a syzygy and like what syzygy is occurring. And you're going to need to tell me from whence it originates, what media property it's from.
Okay, I think I understand. I'm sure I will once you give me the first one.
So, in this film, a syzygy of 6 planets allows the Titans to be freed by Hades, or as it's relayed in the film, in 18 years precisely, the planets will align ever so nicely. Then the once proud Zeus will finally fall, and you, Hades, will rule all.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is this... Oh... See, if I get it wrong, you're going to be angry at me.
No, it's, let me give you a hint. It's a movie that I constantly bring up on this podcast, and that you never know what it is.
It is, right? Yeah. Is that it's from Hercules?
It's from Hercules.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I was like, if I say that and it's not that, what a fool I'm going to look.
No, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a big plot point of all the planets aligning. It's really cool. It's like it's when I thought of Syzygy, I was like, this is what I know it from.
Fair enough.
Okay, Emily. In an episode entitled Syzygy, Madame Zarinka explains a syzygy that occurs only every 84 years will cause anyone born on January 12th, 1979 to have an abundance of cosmic energy, leading Scully and Mulder to discover the 2 teenage murderers.
Well, thank goodness that's where that question ends. That would be X-Files.
X-Files, Emily. You got it.
With Skulder and Mully.
Skulder and Mully. Yeah, there's just a whole episode entitled Syzygy about a syzygy.
Really great.
Okay, Emily, your next one. In this video game sequel, Neo Cortex convinces the title character to gather crystals in order to safeguard the world from a 13-planet syzygy, when in reality he needs them to fuel a space weapon.
Is there a hint for that one too?
Sure. It's a game from down under.
Is that Banjo-Kazooie?
No. Close, though. Think of a marsupial.
Kangaroo Jack.
Emily, the answer is Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
Oh, when I said Banjo-Kazooie, what I was thinking in my head was Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I know. Okay, here's your last one, Emily. The opening of this 1982 Jim Henson film begins with the third great conjunction, a syzygy of the 3 sons of Thra, the Greater Sun, the Rose Sun, and the Dying Sun, during which Gelfling Jen heals the title object, and the Skeksis and Uruk recombine into the Urskeks.
For a second, I got really confused because you said Jim Henson movie, and I was trying to run through Muppet movies, and I was what the heck? But that would be the Dark Crystal.
The Dark Crystal, Emily. You got it.
Nice.
You're 3 for 4, Emily.
I'll take it, Kyle. Kyle,
good job.
Really good episode.
Thank you, Emily. I'm so glad you were so fascinated by all of the astronomy, astrology.
Syzygy is a really good word. That other word that you said, almagest.
Almagest.
Yeah. I liked that word
Emily.
too.
Did you like it enough to tell people about where they can hear other words?
Hey, everybody. Remember, you can find Butter No Parsnips on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram at Butter No Parsnips Podcast, and on TikTok at Butter No Parsnips. And if you liked today's episode, consider giving us a 5-star rating or review wherever you heard us.
And if you really liked today's episode, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/butternoparsnips. Donating $5 or more earns you a shout out, either on social media or here on the podcast.
Thanks so much to all of you. you help us make what we make.
And with that, I've been Kyle Imperator.
And I've been Emily Moyers, and this has been Butter No Parsnips.
Butter No Parsnips is produced by Seth Glicksman, Emily Moyers, and myself, Kyle Imperator. The main and accompanying themes were composed by Kyle Imperator.